Well, our next guest is from St. Charles, and for the past decade, he has starred as Carl on the hit show Shameless on Showtime. It's the longest-running scripted series on the network. It's currently in its 11th and final season. Ethan Cutkosky joins us. Hey, Ethan, how are you, man?
Hey, how are you guys? Good to be here.
We're doing great. It's got to be bittersweet. I mean, people love this show. They don't want to see it to come to an end. And I mean, we've seen you kind of grow up right before our very eyes.
Yeah, we're saying being from the west suburbs out there, I've been doing this since I was 11 years old, around 5th grade is when we first started shooting, and did not really comprehend that it was going to come to this now, being 21 years old and finishing it out. It's definitely a bittersweet feeling, but also good to see the progression that we've all been doing.
So Ethan, when you were 11 years old, I mean, for those who've seen Shameless, or those who haven't even seen Shameless, you know, it's very adult, right? Yeah. So when you were 11 years old, did your parents let you see your own work?
I think my dad kind of made sizzle edits, or be like, close your eyes, go to the other room, and this is all you can see. I think we were around the read-throughs, honestly, from, the start on, from the pilot. So everything that was being said in the episodes, we generally heard happening right in front of us, but being 9, 10, 11 years old, most stuff goes over your head.
But now when you watch this show, I mean, some of the premise is so out there and it's so edgy, and it's kind of incredible that I guess the series is done on Showtime, because this still would never be allowed on regular network primetime TV.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's very funny to kind of look back in the years and be like, oh, I remember that day and what was going through my head as a 12-year-old.
Yeah, Ethan, it's funny. You're from the Chicago area, right? You're from St. Charles. I think that this show captures Chicago in a really special way. Do you agree?
Oh, of course. It's also just shown me so much appreciation to being able to go shoot in Chicago. It's honestly one of my favorite things to do. I'm very saddened this year that we haven't been able to even shoot. I remember the last day that I shot in Chicago last year was almost a 19-hour day, and it was in it was in November, and I think it was the first very cold week of last year. It was 13 degrees, and we shot till 2 in the morning. It was honestly the most fun.
Right. So now that the show is in its final season, are you thinking about what's next? I know that you're a musician as well. Are you already auditioning for films or other work?
Yeah, so obviously always trying to think ahead, and especially just trying to keep it going with whatever creative passions that I want to do, and also keeping work up at my age. I have been auditioning, that's kind of also the game of acting. I feel like it's you can audition. It's like going on 10 interviews, but you may never hear a thing. So you got to be okay with that. But that's why also, since I've moved out here being 18, I've always wanted to pursue music and pursue clothing that's, expression of just who I am.
Yeah. Now, a few seasons ago, you had a classically trained actor on the show, one of the great American stars of stage and screen. And he's sitting right here next to me, Ryan Cheverini.
Yeah, he looks a lot like me. I think the guy won an Emmy. Why didn't he have a reoccurring role on the show? I mean, this is some of the best acting I've ever seen. Ethan, were you in awe?
I was very much in awe. I think it was a very good experience. I think we might, if we were come back to Chicago this year, we would have to definitely take it back to that scene.
I got to tell you, I got to be honest. I remember there's us right there on set. I did get to do one episode, and I remember asking you, because there's so many extras on set, and there's so many people that are relying on you to get your lines right, that I was memorizing and memorizing. You were so relaxed, and you're like, oh yeah, no, I just look at it I should probably work a little harder. I just look at it right before the scene. How is that possible?
I think it was kind of almost the being brutally trained with it, but in a very good way. It's been embedded in our systems with the way that the people and also the family that we've been around. The whole cast is basically, I was 9 years old. Usually as a 9-year-old, you're not ready to go prepare lines in front of a whole screen full of people and have that rely on you. So definitely there was help from a lot of the cast and guiding and, tough love too. So I think that's a big form in it.
Yeah, and obviously super talented cast. I have to tell you, Ethan, I am still, this is true, I was going to bring it in today, I forgot. I'm still getting my royalty checks from the one episode. I think they get smaller every time.
Yeah.
I think my last one was $3.33. So when you come back to Chicago, man, I'm taking you to Taco Bell and we're going to have a nice dinner, all right?
Oh yeah, no, those quarter-cent checks come in, they're amazing.
They're incredible.
Yeah.
All right, Ethan, thank you so much for being with us. Be sure to catch the final season of Shameless Mondays at 8 p.m. on Showtime.